If you've ever tried to learn crochet and gave up halfway through because your project looked nothing like the picture, this video is for you. I'm going to show you the exact patterns that are actually made for beginners, not the ones that just say they are. There's a big difference, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly where to start, what to make first, and how to actually finish something you're proud of. Let's talk about why most people fail at crochet before they even really begin. You go on Pinterest, you find this gorgeous little flower coaster or a tiny stuffed animal, and you think, that looks simple enough. But the moment you pull up the pattern, you're hit with a wall of abbreviations you've never seen before, stitch counts that don't make sense, and instructions that assume you already know what you're doing. That's not a beginner pattern. That's an intermediate pattern wearing a costume. And that gap between what looks easy and what actually is easy is exactly where most new crocheters quit. So what makes a pattern truly beginner-friendly? 3 things. First, it uses basic stitches, the ones with short learning curves that your hands can actually memorize fast. Second, it works in straight lines or simple rounds, nothing that requires you to count 20 things at once. Third, it gives you a finished item quickly, something you can hold in your hands and feel good about, because honestly, that feeling of finishing something is what keeps you going. If your first project takes 3 months and still looks messy, you're going to put the hook down and never pick it up again. But if you finish something in an afternoon, you're hooked. No pun intended. Let's start with the very first thing every beginner should make, and that's a simple crochet dishcloth or washcloth. I know, it sounds boring, but hear me out. A dishcloth is a rectangle. That's it. You chain a number of stitches to make your starting row, then you work back and forth in rows using just one stitch, the single crochet. Single crochet is the most basic stitch in all of crochet. It's short, it's tight, and it's incredibly forgiving. If you mess up one stitch, nobody will ever notice on a dishcloth. And because you're just going back and forth in rows, you don't have to think about shaping or increasing or decreasing. You just go, row after row after row, until it's the size you want, then you stop. You cut your yarn, pull the tail through the last loop to fasten off, and weave in your ends. What you just made is a functional, usable item that you can give to someone or actually use in your home. Your very first finished crochet project. That matters more than people realize. Now, once you've done the dishcloth and you feel comfortable with single crochet, you're ready to move on to something a little more interesting, and that's a crochet scarf. Scarves are one of the most beginner-friendly projects out there because the shape is even simpler than a dishcloth. It's just a very long rectangle. But here's where you get to level up a little. Instead of single crochet only, you can try the double crochet stitch, which is taller and works up much faster. A scarf in double crochet can be done in a weekend, even if you're still learning. Here's how double crochet works. You chain your starting row, around 15 to 20 stitches for a scarf width. Then instead of going into the second chain from the hook, you skip the first 3 chains because those 3 chains count as your first double crochet. Yarn over before inserting your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, then yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops. That's one double crochet. It sounds like a lot when you read it, but once your hands do it a few times, it becomes automatic. The nice thing about a scarf is that you can use chunky yarn, the thick kind, which makes everything go faster, and the stitches are big enough that you can actually see what you're doing. If you've been struggling to see your stitches, try going up to a thicker yarn. It changes everything. After the scarf, you're ready to try something that involves a tiny bit of shaping, and that's a crochet beanie hat. Now, before you click away thinking that sounds too hard, let me explain why it's actually perfect at this stage. A basic beanie is worked in rounds, not rows, which means you never have to turn your work. You just keep going in a circle. The only new skill you need is the magic ring, or an alternative chain start, and how to increase, which just means doing 2 stitches into the same spot to make your circle get wider. You start at the top of the hat and work outward, adding stitches in each round until the circle is as wide as the top of a head. Then you stop increasing and just keep going in even rounds, which makes the sides of the hat. When it's long enough, you fasten off. That's a beanie, and it takes most beginners between 4 to 6 hours the first time, which is totally doable in a single Saturday. The stitch most commonly used for beanies is again the single crochet or the half double crochet. Half double crochet sits right between single and double in terms of height, and it creates a really nice stretchy fabric that works perfectly for hats. It has just one extra step compared to single crochet. You yarn over before inserting your hook, then pull through all 3 loops at once. Once you get it, it's just as easy as single crochet, but your work grows a little faster.
Now here's something that catches a lot of beginners off guard: tension. Your tension is how tightly or loosely you hold the yarn as you work. If your tension is really tight, your stitches will be hard to work into and your finished piece will feel stiff. If your tension is too loose, your stitches will be floppy and uneven. Most beginners crochet too tight at first because they're nervous and gripping everything hard. The fix is simple. Consciously remind yourself to relax your hand. Let the yarn flow. It takes a little time, but your tension evens out naturally as you practice. One more pattern worth covering here is the crochet granny square. This one has a bit of a reputation for being old-fashioned, but granny squares are genuinely one of the best things a beginner can make because they're small, they're fast, they teach you how to work in rounds and how to change colors, and you can make a whole lot of them and then join them together into a blanket or a bag or literally anything. There's also something very satisfying about making one perfect little square and then another and another. A basic granny square uses chain spaces and groups of double crochets worked into those spaces. The corners are created by chaining 2 or 3 stitches between the groups. The whole thing works up in just a few rounds, and your first square might take 20 minutes, but by the 5th one, you'll be doing it in 5. That kind of muscle memory is exactly what makes you feel like you actually know what you're doing. So, to summarize everything, start with a dishcloth to get comfortable with single crochet and working in rows. Move to a scarf to practice double crochet and build some speed. Then try a beanie to learn working in rounds and basic shaping. And whenever you want a fun side project, make granny squares. Each of these patterns builds on the last one, and before you know it, you've got a real set of skills that opens up almost every other beginner project out there. The biggest thing holding most beginners back isn't skill. It's picking the wrong project too soon and then thinking the problem is them. It's not. The pattern was just wrong for where they were. Pick any one of the things we talked about today and just start. Your first project won't be perfect. That's completely fine. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to teach your hands what to do.